the church tower, won't they, to be lining up on, right?
Good eyesight here to make sure you're straight. Not get distracted by the bank or the people. As soon as they were straight, off they went.
It was quite a quick turnaround, wasn't it? But there they are, yeah, bang on line, and they're off, aren't they? Very quick out the blocks there from Leander Club on the right-hand side of the screen.
I'd say this Leander crew are going to be probably slight favourites here going off the start. They're rowing quite a high-performance programme, but these aren't their elite women. These are their club rowers, so they're allowed to race in this regatta here. And Vesta kept with them in these opening stages. Good start by both crews.
Yeah, come on in, Vesta Rowing Club. So the London-based club here, got a real mix of experience and youth within that Vesta boat, and it's more of a, it's more of your kind of your club program versus what, as you said there, Jess, Leander Club, which is will be running a more of a high-performance program, and these are their development athletes. But look at this Vesta Rowing Club crew, really giving it some, taking on the might of Leander Rowing Club.
Got a double bucket in there, which is funny to see. A bucket, we say, or a fig rig, is when you have two crew members rowing on the same side as each other. In the 4 and the 5 seat, both rowing on stroke side, and 6 and 7 are both rowing on bow side. It can give it it's a slight risk to do that, but interesting to see.
Yeah, an interesting configuration. I don't know what that would feel like to row in, but obviously people can get used to it, and it must be working for them. That's great. And yeah, Leander Club here, so all these not raced really much as a crew like this, and it's great that Harriet Taylor, I believe, is the coach for this crew. So she's a new coach stepping into that role under the programme that Ross Hunter is running at Leander Club, but looks like this development boat is really gelling together pretty well, actually. Look, they're very, very smooth there, and actually stretching out to quite a commanding lead on Vesta Rowing Club.
Can Vesta hang in here as we pan to them? Have they got enough to hold on to the barrier? That's a real marker you want to hold on to as they're coming up to that now. Just past, you almost think about that as the first kind of quarter of the race, as we come down and meet the rest of the enclosures. You can see that bucket we're talking about there, so 6 and 7 are on the same side, and 4 and 5 are on the same side. You won't see that very often in this regatta, but interesting to see. You can rig the boat, so the configuration of seats in the boat any way you like, really. And that's an unusual one to look at, but we're looking down the course now up towards Temple Island as the crews are going to come past the Forley, and Leander look in control of this race.
Yeah, that buckets are always quite eye-catching, aren't they? And then if you've got two people rowing on the same side, one behind the other, the person that's behind that person who's rowing on the same side of them, it kind of gives them a bit of a template to follow. That's sometimes the logic behind it, isn't it? But then if you've got one bucket and then you've got the second bucket behind it, I'm not quite sure how easy that is for the duo in the second bucket. I'm not sure, but I'm guessing, it's one of those things you try, you experiment with, you learn about. Have you rowed much in a bucket before, Jess?
I actually raced world champs in a bucket, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
So,
well, you know them well.
It is quite nice to rowing, because exactly what you're saying. I've never raced a double bucket, that's adventurous, but you'll see it a lot in the 4s, so we'll pull those out for you this morning if you see any. The 4s actually works really well with that 2 people bring on one side, but the 8 is slightly different. You could go the full whack and do a quadruple bucket, imagine. Mind blown,
totally. Yeah, I mean, it's great. I think that our sport is all about experimenting in terms of like what works for your crew, in terms of how to configure it, how to get the best out of them, and it's great that people explore all this sort of stuff. It's really cool. But yeah, look at this Leander crew here, really stretching out their lead here, rowing nice, long, smooth strokes.
This looks brilliant rowing. They've managed to, get enough of a lead that they're not panicked, and they've actually taken their rate down a little bit. It looks nice and tidy. From before, their spoons, that pink's just covering, and they can take a second to relax. With the bow seat of Grace Denning-Smithman. It's been in Henley finals twice in 2022 and 2023. 21-year-old has the experience to sit up in the bows. That's what you want from somewhere up there, helping tap that bow along. Look down towards Vesta behind them. Tori Lacey, Eliza Groupers, Bridget Hall, Ayusa Hacker. Doing a good job there, keeping the rate up in these blustery conditions, but outclassed by this Leander crew today, Adam.
Yeah, you can just see that Leander have just got quite a good measure of this race. But look at the raciness in this Vesta boat here. They are not going away. This is fantastic. Yeah, it's brilliant. You can see the remnant marker there. They're just crouching up on there, so they'll have that remnant roar, won't they? They're just cheering on one of these clubs. You know, obviously Vesta, we've had quite a good showing from Vesta Rowing Club, Thames Rowing Club, and London Rowing Club this year at Henley Royal Regatta. So there'll be a big fan base there, willing them on.
And they've raced together all year, this crew. They've actually got quite a pedigree of races. They've been to Quinton Head. They were 47th at Women's 8's Head of the River. So they've got that connection and that gel. So hopefully they'll hold together through the middle section of this race and really put on a good show and push Leander towards enclosures.
That's right, yeah, racing as a unit like this must have been great fun for this crew. You know, the real mix of ages in there, lots of them working, lots of different lines of work across London. And to come together and have this 8th project is fantastic, and they really are giving Leander a good run for their money here. This is good stuff from Vesta.
Leander Pink, the famous pink of Leander Club, represented by a hippo just behind us, about 100 metres next to Henley Bridge here. This crew today showing their pedigree. They're actually got it quite relaxed now as they head towards the enclosures. And rowing in that big boat is all about communication. So that cox, that person you see right at the back of the boat, is telling their crew what to do. So as an athlete in these boats, you can, if you want to, do whatever you want, but it won't do you much good. You've got to listen to that cox. They've got a little microphone attached to them, and they're telling the entire crew what to do and when, and that's really important. So we're going to take the rate up. We're going to do a burst here. We want to be a bit sharper in. We want to get those oars down to the water. All those instructions in a crew boat, these big boats you see here, you have to do it together, otherwise they'll get lost.
Yeah, there's a lot of like corralling of all different thoughts of what could be going on here, isn't it? But yeah, as you said, the cox has obviously really kind of got good kind of influence on this crew, and they've all really bought into this kind of, you know, smoother rowing and slightly, you know, they've got good control on it. So they've obviously, yeah, they've got good communications going on there. And yeah, this is going to be a tough event. You know, this is only the second round of this event, and you know they'll be facing off against Upper Thames or Sydney Rowing Club in the next round. So with these sort of things, you kind of have to build momentum into it, don't you? Sort of take each race as it comes. They've sort of had a good show down here with Vesta, but they've really controlled the race well. And they are just stretching out and just rowing nice long strokes through the enclosures, soaking up the applause.
Isabel Hawes, stroke seat there. Leander, you see, huge experience. Won the Island, University Women's 8's event in 2021 for Brooks. So we've got some Brooks rowers in there. It's great to see actually rowers going off into the club system from the universities, and we're seeing that possible now with the introduction of these Women's 8's events. As we see Vesta come up to the finish line. That was a strong start, but a bold move and a relaxed finish for a win for Leander Club in the Wargrave over Vesta Rowing Club.